So, me and my roommates, 4 of us, including me, so me and 3 other girls, my apartment has 6 girls total. Well, 3 of the other girls that I live with and me have a religions class at night. And so we get out of our class, and it was about 8:30, 9 o'clock, and we get on the shuttle bus, and we run into Tyler, who we haven't seen since we let off balloons, which is a story all its own, so won't bother to relate that. But we saw him, and he was like, hey, guys, and we're like, well, hey, start talking and stuff, and we're on the shuttle back, and he's like, so did you hear that Nick has ice cream back at the apartment? Nick is our resident assistant. He's our RA. And I guess he had a building meeting that night that we couldn't go to because we had our class. And he bought a giant tub of Aggie Blue Mint ice cream. Delicious ice cream. It is amazing ice cream. So good. So good. And he bought it for us, for the entire building, for whoever came to the meeting. But he knew we had our religion class, so he was just like, oh, it's fine. You guys don't have to come, whatever. So when we get back, so Tyler was telling us, he's like, oh, no, guys, there's still ice cream left. And he said we could have some. So when we get back, there's totally this giant tub of ice cream sitting in the common area. So we run up to our room, grab some bowls and spoons, tell our other 2 roommates, come on, guys, there's ice cream. We got to go get some because there's ice cream. We run down, we take these mountain bowls, and we're just sitting there eating ice cream. We're like, so good. One of my roommates, the innocent one, was just like, guys, we can't eat the ice cream. We didn't ask him. I was like, he's in a meeting. And Tyler said we could. Like, he's in a meeting. Doesn't matter. He's not going to care. You really think he's going to eat all this ice cream? There's no way. But, half of the tub was left. There was a ton of ice cream. It was this giant, huge bucket. I don't even know. Maybe, the 5-gallon bucket. That's about how big it looked. It was still half full. Nobody had come to the meeting, I guess, to eat the ice cream. Well, so she only had a little bowl. Well, so later on, when we're up in our apartment that night, we hear a knock on the door, and it's Nick. And at first it was like, crap. Were we not supposed to eat the ice cream? Tyler told us we could. It was Tyler. Tyler, your roommate, did that. But that's not actually why he came. Apparently, there was some kind of contest my building did, and 2 of my roommates won. And one of them was the one that had been super innocent. He's like, oh, so did you guys get ice cream? I came up here to make sure you guys got ice cream. And we're like, yeah. And he's like, did you get enough? Because I have plenty more. Please eat my ice cream. And, the innocent one from earlier who'd had the little small bowl, she said, well, actually, I didn't get as much. And he's like, oh, do you guys want it? Because my fridge just has this giant thing of ice cream in it. I'm not going to eat it. I'll give it to you. Well, our freezer was full. Totally full. So my roommates were like, we can't accept that. And I walk in, I was like, excuse me. Yes. Give us the ice cream. And he's like, well, if you guys are hungry, I was like, please. It's ice cream. There's not room now. Come back. There will be room. So he's like, oh, okay. Kind of laughs nervously. He's kind of like, freshman girls. They're not going to have room for the ice cream. That's what he thought. He was wrong. I run over to the freezer and start frantically organizing stuff. I mean, there had been no organizational time yet. So I did it. I organized everything in our freezer. Our freezer then looked empty. And I was like, geez, guys, we could have saved so much space for so long. Well, he comes back upstairs with this giant, thing of ice cream. I was like, totally have room. We have ice cream now. Doing the ice cream dance. Oh, yeah. Ice cream. We had plenty of ice cream. It was awesome. And, well, when he comes up, by this point, all the other girls on our floor come out. They're like, hi, Nick, and it's like, do not touch my ice cream. That is my ice cream. Well, Nick said we could have it, but we had to share with everyone on our floor first. So by the time everyone on our floor had finished eating, there was not a lot of ice cream left in the bucket. It didn't make sense to use this huge bucket for just this little bit of ice cream. So I so graciously suffered and volunteered to finish it. We gave a bowl. We had some friends over, Noel and Krista, nice people. Well, Noel, we gave him a big bowl, and then everyone else is like, oh, I'm too full, I can't eat anymore. And I was like, guys, there's another 2 servings here. This was my 4th bowl. If I was going to accept this, it would be my 4th bowl, which was fine, I could handle that. And Noel's like, well, I'm kind of full. I was like, are you kidding me? You're a boy. You can eat it. Come here, boy. Took his bowl and put more in it. He ate it. I was right. He's, teenage boy. They will eat the ice cream if you give them the ice cream. He ate it, and he loved it. He's very grateful, because I'm just amazing and shared. Whatever. Well, I'm not much of a night person. Once it gets past a certain time, I need to just go to bed and not be seen by humans, because I'm either really quiet or I don't shut up. If I eat dessert after 9:30, the latter of those two instances is what happens, so I just don't shut up. I don't really remember much of what happened. There was a bucket. But my roommates kind of filled me in on the details this morning, and So we finished this tub of ice cream, and we just had this empty bucket, and they're like, oh, let's throw it away. And I said, no, guys! No, guys, we can't throw it away! And they said, why? What are you going to do with a bucket? Like, what? Look at this. What are you going to do with a bucket? What are you going to do with a bucket? What are you going to do with a freaking bucket? You don't have room for a bucket this big. And it's just full of, like, the remnants of ice cream. And, this made perfect sense in my mind. And I said, I want a hat. They all laughed at me. And I really couldn't understand why. All I wanted was a hat. It was quite simple. And they said, don't. And they're like, okay, time to go to bed. They started pushing me a door, and I was like, no! It was pushing on my side. I was like, you don't understand. I want a hat, and I'm not crazy. I am completely sober right now. Now, this part I do remember. I was sober. Not that I was ever drunk, but I was kind of acting drunk, apparently. I remember this perfectly fine. I wanted to take, when I was little, I would walk around with a bucket on my head a lot of the time. I don't know why. I was an odd child. So all my pictures, most of the pictures of me from when I was little, I have a bucket on my head. So I wanted to take one of those pictures, from like, this is when I was little doing this thing, and this is when I'm older doing this thing. So I needed the bucket, to take a picture of me. It made sense at the time. I needed a bucket hat to recreate my childhood moments. My roommates all just laughed at me like, fine, you want to take the bucket. Go wash out these bowls. So I take the bowls, go wash them out, take the bucket, and I wash it out and dry it. And my roommate comes in, and I'm sitting here with this bucket, just on my head, just like this. Super happy. Just super happy. The bucket's on my head. And it's just like, oh my gosh. Bucket on head equals happiness. She just starts laughing, and I was like, no, you don't understand. It's like my childhood's being relived. I mean, look. Woo! Total reliving of childhood. I was like, I'm not even an adult anymore. I don't even have to grow up. I have a bucket now. I can go back to those childhood memories. And she's just laughing. I was like, I gotta go show our friends out in the foyer. I gotta go show them outside in the common area outside our apartments. I gotta go do it. So I walk out, and I'm sitting here like this. And I'm like, it's like my childhood is back again. Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. And one of the boys in the apartment next to mine walks out. And just looks at me. And then just slowly backs away. And my roommates just continue to laugh harder and harder while I'm sitting here with this bucket on my head, just supreme excitement. And I was like, no, guys, look, it's the best thing ever. It is the best thing ever. Whoa. You don't know what it feels like to have a bucket on your head till you've drowned. They did not understand. Well, so I went to bed. I didn't think much of it. It was normal in my mind. Then I woke up. My roommates took pictures. There are lots of pictures to document this moment. So, word of advice, if you're not a night person and you don't react well to sugar, don't eat 4 bowls of ice cream at 9:30. Because it's not going to end well. It's not going to end well at all.